Cloud9 strolled straight through to this grand final, barely breaking a sweat. They will represent North America. ABC, on the other hand, has played the maximum amount of games, the maximum amount of series that you can play in a double elimination tournament. Why? Because they were knocked down to the lower bracket in the first round by the team that they are facing right now in the grand final. They have been on an absolute tear. Now, you would look at this before we got to the grand final and you go, okay, well, Cloud9 sent both of these teams to the lower bracket. They're probably very confident going into this one. I was actually talking to Snuts. I got to watch the last game with him, and that's not entirely the case, because what just happened for ABC? We've seen them pick up momentum, play more games than anybody else, polishing up all their compositions, and what did they just get practice against? The composition that we expect Cloud9 to be playing in the grand final. So one of the things that I asked Snuts was, is this practice nearly as good as playing against your team? He said, no, it's not the quality of practice that it would be if he was wargaming with our team, but it's still very important practice. How important do you think that actual factor is going to be, Zico, when we enter this blind pick?
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to confidence. And when you just beat this composition, sure, it wasn't, Method Black's main composition, but still, it makes it seem more it makes it seem mortal, you
look at it and you go, there is a way to beat it.
Exactly.
It's still, this is the best Mage Lock Druid right now. A lot of the players have been saying it. I think we feel that way on the desk, and Cloud9, I think, feels that way as well. Do you think they're going to need to finally break out some of their extra tools when it does matter the most, Elliot?
I'm really not sure. I mean, you can say Cloud9 plays Mage Lock Druid, but I don't think anyone plays Mage Lock Druid like Cloud9. I mean, Method Black, they played it, but when we watch Cloud9 consistently, their setups, their ability to throw out one-shots, I kind of talked about those combos we've seen earlier on in the tournament where they go in for the really aggressive bash into Infernal Stun, into Mortal Coil, and they can just one-shot people at any moment, and that's something that is special about this team. I just feel like their strategies are much more refined than we saw from Method Black, and I think that's one of the things that will give them an edge in this matchup. ABC, they got practice against MLD, but they did not get practice against a team like Cloud9.
But also ABC, and this is something that Zico already touched on, they are running on pure momentum right now. They have been on a tear in the lower bracket. Now they just had a big win. You can see even right now they're all smiles. They're trying to figure out what they are going to play. Also getting a little bit of energy. Very important. Very important right before you do go into a matchup. It's pretty easy to forget little things like that when you have to play so many games. It's been a long day for them. But Sid, I do want to say ABC, probably not the team we would have picked to represent EU in the grand final.
I don't think it was a team that anyone expected any region to represent in the grand final, but they've definitely earned it. I mean, they're the Method Slayers. They took out Method Orange 3-0. Now they took out Method Black just in that last series, and they've come for a rematch against Cloud9, and they've got a lot of experience and a lot of practice under their belt for the composition in the matchup. But now if I'm Cloud9, I'm thinking like, oh, they're probably confident in Rogue Mage. What if we just played Demon Hunter Death Knight? And I don't understand why Method Black didn't do that when they knew what was happening in that game number 5, because it has almost a 100%, I'm pretty sure it does have a 100% win rate against Rogue Mage Druid. I don't know why you don't pick the comp that has a 100% win rate when you know what's coming your way. So we've seen Chanimal play Death Knight in the past. If they want to use that and utilize it in this series, it's a best of 7, not a best of 5. So we are going to see more maps. We're going to see more battlefields as well play out in this series, and BlizzCon's on the line.
I do think that there's a level of, even when you're watching the celebration happen, Ben, with Alec and the entire team. I mean, the entire team's looking at the screen like, how did we just win that? What did they do? You gotta say, Method Black, to a certain degree, seems like they threw a little bit. I'm not trying to discredit what ABC did, but there is some onus on Method Black not performing, maybe not picking correctly which compositions to run.
I mean, when we look at those two teams go head-to-head, there's a reason why we say Method Black comes out on top. They just had more comp diversity, and they had the winning matchups in their favor. We can't really predict when they aren't going to be using those advantages in a series like that. So, yeah, I would have to say Method Black. It was a little bit of a throwaway for them, but they had to have had their reasons. Like I said, maybe they weren't as well practiced. They didn't feel as confident in that matchup without playing it as often. So, yeah. That's going to be that, and now ABC has earned their rematch against Cloud9 in the grand finals. We kind of talked about Cloud9. Maybe they're going to be subbing against Nuts, but knowing this team and kind of knowing the thought process Chanimal has, I feel like they would have to be down 0-2 in order to even consider switching up their composition. Like, I feel like they're going to be going Mage Lock Druid until ABC can really prove that they have it figured out.
And Zico, I do want to just take one step back, kind of circle back and look at ABC. Do you agree that with the sentiment that Snuts had, that this isn't the same ABC that they played at the beginning of the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I think ABC has just been leveling up throughout the tournament, and I think they've been proving to more than us themselves that they can do this, because in the start it looked like, okay, well, this is the European 4th seed, they got 3-0, they got bodied pretty hard by Cloud9 yesterday, but then, you know, they start taking out these big name teams. They start off with, you know, the reigning BlizzCon champions Method Orange, and all of a sudden they take out teams like Method Black as well, and, you know, all of a sudden that momentum really starts to set in. So I think ABC is looking great, but I'm still not convinced. I think we're going to see Rogue Mage Druid versus Mage Lock Druid, and I got to agree with Van. I don't think C9 are going to swap off that Mage Lock Druid unless they at least lose 1 or 2 convincing games.
We're going to see both of these teams opening up in the blind pick with their main compositions, with the compositions that really did get them so far in this tournament. This grand final is for $50,000 in cash prizing, and for the first spot to BlizzCon. In the chat right now, you guys think Cloud9's going to be able to take it? Let's see how they fare against the ABC that has been on a destructive warpath throughout a lower bracket.
The competition is at its apex for World of Warcraft arena action here in the grand finals of the Spring Finals 2019 series. Cloud9, North America's last hope, ABC, Europe's last hope for their each respective regions. Very important to win this series and secure yourself a spot at BlizzCon. Secure yourself a spot at the World Finals. We see Azkarath, the target of choice early on from Cloud9, and that is a confident move to go after the healer this early on.
Yeah, Cloud9, I mean, that was a decent attempt, but that was a little bit sloppy. Chanimal was out of line of sight, wasn't able to connect the Mortal Coil, and Wealthy Man, he dumped a lot of his offensive cooldowns. That was the Infernals as well, so they had a decent attempt, but weren't able to get too much rolling onto Azkarath. Nixie now forced to use the Cloak of Shadows as well off the back of that Infernal. Chanimal has been able to generate a decent amount of pressure so far. Once again, we saw ABC when they went against Method Black, they went on the Destruction Warlock, really focused on controlling up the enemy mage, so Wealthy Man is going to get controlled up quite a bit, trying to land that crowd control chain onto Cubsy, and if they can do that, Chanimal could fall. Yeah, most certainly can, and it's the Smoke Bomb, I believe, of Nixie that is going to be the playmaker spell. Let's see what Nixie can get done with Smoke Bomb here against Cloud9, and more importantly, I believe Chanimal is not running the Demonic Circle, Mortal Coil instead, so he will not have Demonic Circle to escape to safety, instead going for more aggressive talent decisions. Let's see if it works out for Chanimal. Perhaps he can just outplay that of Method Black with experience alone. They've been playing this composition, the Mage Warlock Druid, the entire spring season, and seems like nobody really has an answer. ABC managed to somehow pull it off. Their Smoke Bomb. This is the big move. Chanimal is playing the Gladiator's Medallion, so he can use that to get out of a stun and escape the line-of-sight effects of Smoke Bomb, and has lined them up. But still, crowd control is secured. Chanimal is isolated early on in Game 1. Very important to win the blind pick here in this series when the teams have so many compositions at their disposal. Iron Bark activated as the crowd control is broken up. Cubsy stabilizes. Now Alec on the back foot. Yeah, Alec taking a little bit of burst damage to the bash onto Azkarath, but he will get out of that crowd control, and it looks like ABC should be able to stabilize. Alec in midfield right now could be in a little bit of trouble. If Wealthy Man can keep him locked down, keep him snared up, Chanimal might be able to tee off with some Chaos Bolt, manages to find one. Alec does deflect it, gets healed up by Azkarath. We look at mana right now, ABC does have a little bit of a lead. Looks like Cubsy wants to try to cross the map, potentially go for those drinks. Has to drink it out of the blind with the kidney shot on Chanimal. Doesn't want to fall behind. It's a fair trade from Cloud9, but now there's an opportunity here for ABC in this matchup. They can push in, get a Bash Ring of Frost. That's when they can start really getting aggressive with that vendetta Nixie has. All right, Nixie, what are you going to do? You're the playmaker for the team. You got to set up things. You got to set up moves and shut down moves of the opposing team simultaneously. And if he can manage to do so with his team coordinated crowd control, then they could find victory here facing Cloud9, which would be absolutely unexpected. Polymer Poly on the Cubsy. Chanimal at half. Azkarath is crossing center field to get further crowd control. Cyclone secured. Counterspell denies Wealthy Man from supporting Chanimal.
This efflorescence on the ground, healing Chanimal, really the only thing that's stopping him from going down at this moment in time. Mana still even for both sides. No significant lead on either front. Alec, though, on the back foot as a result of their crowd control attempt fading. Ironbark's defense is going to be dropping. Wealthy Man's on top of Alec. Glaire's Maledict is absorbing the heal over time effects. Asgrath is still crowd controlled. Alec is isolated. Wealthy Man's on one side, Chanimal on the other. Alec has to make a decision like a fox in a hole to decide where does he want to escape to safety, but the crowd control is now over and Asgrath is easily stabilized the team.
Yeah, Alec gets topped off. That was really good defensive positioning right there by Alec, managing to avoid the damage from Wealthy Man as well as Chanimal. Big swap attempt over onto Cubsy. He's caught into a kidney shot. No trinket. He uses the bark skin. Will he be able to survive? One Maledict lands. Good defensive peels here by Wealthy Man, by Chanimal. Cubsy gets out of line of sight behind the pillar, tops himself off with a huge regrowth, and does manage to survive that swap. I'm interested to see Mana. Cubsy actually ahead. I think he snuck away for a drink. This is the first time we've seen AWC kind of behind against the Mage Lock Druid. Cloud9's been doing a really good job managing mana.
Yeah, Cloud9 certainly have, and that is going to be the main advantage for them moving into the late stages of this fight. Cubsy has taken some talent decisions from Gorecki running the Spring Blossom, so that green circle on the ground, the efflorescence, is even more powerful, and it's super effective against crowd control compositions. I'm curious if Asgrath is also running this. No, he is not, opting for Stonebark, the reduced cooldown on Ironbark, so potentially this efflorescence talent for Cubsy could be a significant reason as to how they find victory facing ABC. We see Asgrath trying to get crowd control, but Ursul's Vortex on his wild charge preemptively by Cubsy, but Alec blinks in, doesn't get the follow-up, denied by Chanimal. Cubsy running away from two members of ABC, but they've denied the crowd control, and now Cloud9 will have free reign for a few moments.
Yeah, definitely going to have an opportunity here to get some damage rolling, but Nixie's going to be decently durable. You know, he has the feint, Vanish coming up in 20 seconds, but ABC may be running out of time. Look at Asgrath's mana, it's already down to around 20%. Smoke Bomb does get dropped out. Chanimal caught into a kidney shot. Does Cubsy have the healing? It looks like Chanimal will be able to survive. Nixie trying to run over, but Cubsy positioned very far away, and slowly but surely Cloud9 is developing a lead here in this matchup, but like we've seen in the last couple games, all ABC needs is just one clean setup to take down a Destruction Warlock. If they can push in, get good crowd control, Cubsy with no trinket won't be able to get out of that crowd control, and Chanimal could easily fall. It's just about execution at this point, and Wealthy Man's going to have to make sure he's doing a good job denying it.
All right, nice frozen orb from Wealthy Man, stopping Asgrath from drinking. Chanimal now sending the Fell Hunter over. However, Unending Resolve was used by Chanimal, and I guess it was for the smoke bomb there to try and stabilize. A bit peculiar move on Chanimal's part. That is his most important defensive cooldown, and we have seen the Destruction Warlock as the main target for the Rogue Mage Druid. This is a big opening for ABC, a big opportunity in the grand finals for the spring finals. BlizzCon on the line.
Yeah, Ebon Bolt being cast out onto Chanimal. Big burst damage here for ABC, 10% dampening, and as dampening gets higher and higher, Nixie on the Assassination Rogue is going to be able to really rip into Chanimal, and he kind of traded out that Unending Resolve earlier on, so Cubsy could go for a reset on his mana, sit down for a drink. There's a sap now onto Cubsy. Nixie shadow steps over onto Chanimal. Alec looking for some damage, finds the Polymorph on Wealthy Man, Ring of Frost on Cubsy. Beautiful crowd control from Alec, creating a 3v1 situation. Chanimal left all alone.
He's going to use that Fire Blood, removes that Glaire's Maledict effect. However, Cyclone at low health, and Asgrath has been the MVP with these Cyclones to have his team find victory and enough damage to close the game out. Ursul's Vortex pins Cubsy into a Cyclone. Good combination of crowd control. Icy Veins being denied by Wealthy Man, predicting that attack and polymorphing it immediately. Cubsy then stunning it. Asgrath is interrupted. Looks like they're switching to him. He's trying to cross center field, avoid some of that burst damage and crowd control. Still another minute and 30 on that Unending Resolve. Nixie sees the opening and he's trying to take it. Vendetta pop. Big damage here on the Chanimal. Cubsy using Thorns to try and thwart Nixie away, but Nixie is reluctant to do so, still just hammering away, although not really winning this exchange in terms of pressure. Dampening continues to rise. Asgrath jumping into the fight. Can Alec and Asgrath secure crowd control? Yes, they can. Polymorph landed. Cyclone secured onto Wealthy Man. It's 3-on-1. Nether Ward from Chanimal denies the Glaire's Maledict. Fear on Nixie denies the damage, and Chanimal, MVP of the tournament, completely owns ABC in that attempt.
Yeah, that was really good denial there by Chanimal, using the Nether Ward to deflect the Maledict, getting a Fear, landing the Mortal Coil. Now a big attempt here on Asgaroth, immediately activating the Barskin. He is not messing around. Wealthy Man all over him, looking for a Maledict, manages to find the burst. Asgaroth has to get out of line of sight. Chanimal and a Kidney Shot really couldn't back up the rest of his team to take down Asgaroth in that situation. Now Asgaroth finds the full Cyclone onto Wealthy Man. Cubsy and a Polymorph. Asgaroth moves in. If he can find the Cyclone out of this Polymorph, it's going to be big for ABC. Chanimal in a lot of trouble.
All right, crowd control is still landed on the Cubsy, and Chanimal is not recovering just yet. He's managed to hold out. Cubsy's land a stun. Alex in trouble. Cannot afford to go down without exchanging ice blocks, but Asgaroth has no mana. Dampening is at 25%. There's the smoke bomb. This is the playmaking ability that Nixie has to get a kill with. Ironbark connects, though, in between the crowd control, and that looks to be enough to stabilize Chanimal. Nixie's on the run. Asgaroth gets swapped to. Wealthy Man almost snipes him. He's ducking for cover, but he's got no mana to heal. He's really relying on Omen of Clarity, which procs from Life Bloom to make regrowth free. Asgaroth is relying on these discounted heals, but they're not guaranteed. He's just casting Solar Wrath. He has nothing left. Asgaroth has to go for a kill. He's adding whatever extra damage he can into the mix because he simply can't heal. He can't even dispel the Polymorph of Alec. Nixie gets swapped to. This is easily a Cloak of Shadows. Cubsy exchanges Gliders Medallion for the blind. Fair exchange there, and Cloud9, they should have this game in the bag. ABC need a miracle.
Yeah, they definitely do. There's the bash on Nixie. No Cloak of Shadows available. He is such a good target at this point in the game for Cloud9 to tee off on. Chanimal trades out the Unending Resolve. The Dark Soul looking to get aggressive. Cubsy interrupted. Can they find any damage? No, Alec in full peel mode. He knows his team is in a lot of trouble, but I don't know if Asgaroth is ever going to be able to recover. Nixie at this point, he's behind the pillar, flailing to survive. Wealthy Man snipes a flurry, ice lands, and Cloud9 put the first point on the board.
And it looks like it is just going to be textbook for Cloud9 as well. You can see just how well they're controlling the entire pace of that matchup. Like, you're not going to be able to get a drink ever against this team on the side of ABC. What do you think their win condition would be, Zico? If they're going to find wins with these two compositions, what do they do?
Well, the way they beat Method Black was they landed the Polymorph out of a bash, then they got the new Polymorph, and then they got the Cyclone. And usually before that even happened, we saw a low Cyclone onto the Warlock, so it's a really tough thing to do. And right here, you can see why. You can see Cubsy gets bashed up, Alec gets the Polymorph, Asgaroth gets the Cyclone onto Wealthy Man, Chanimal in a 3v1, uses his Reflect, gets a nice Fear onto Nixie, shuts down Alec, shuts down Asgaroth with the Mortal Coil, and these are the plays that, this is why we've been gassing up Chanimal so much, because he stops 3 members from following up that crowd control, and the win condition of ABC is to land that, and if Cloud9 can just keep deflecting those attempts, then they're going to be in a situation where Asgaroth doesn't have mana, Cubsy has mana, and you know, Cloud9 still has their defensives, and at this point you just need to chase them down. Wealthy Man and Cubsy, they just need to shut down the drinks time and time again from Asgaroth as well, and then they just win the game by doing that.
Yeah, and you can see the drinks just shut down. You just have that micromanagement of your pet, that the puppy's on top of Asgaroth the entire time. He can't go down for a drink, and that's why Sid was calling out. He's flailing, moving behind the pillar, trying to get out those Solar Wraths. That's all he can do. He can't break combat. He can't get away, can't get the drink. He's not going to heal for the rest of the matchup. But my question is, Snuts, has he played at all yet in this tournament?
Nope.
Yeah, so is there a chance that Snuts just ends up just going straight through this tournament, ends up winning without having to play a single game? It doesn't look like they're being pressured to have to use it.
I would say there's a pretty good chance at this point. I mean, it seems like no one can really force Cloud9 off of that Mage Lock Druid. And like I said, even if they lose one game, I feel like with the way Chanimal kind of prides himself, like they are going to continue to play it, try to figure out a strategy. That's just kind of how their team operates. They're not going to be the team that switches off this composition after losing one game.
Yeah, and we're going to see them lock it in without too much of a problem. But ABC also sticking to their guns. So, Sid, how do you feel about ABC just going, okay, we're going to play our mains as well. We're going to take it to a smaller map?
I just don't think they have anything else ready for it that has a better shot. They already tried the Elemental Mage earlier on in the tournament in the first round. They got 3-0'd. And then other teams have also tried the Elemental Shaman Mage, the Elemental Shaman Balance Druid, and it hasn't worked. ABC at least managed to beat Method Black's Mage Warlock in that lower bracket final, so the comp has at least beaten the comp, but it's not necessarily just that simple. It's, can the team beat the team? And I'm not sold yet for ABC versus Cloud9.
Yeah, I think the thing that is really exciting, though, when you do look down at your screen right now, you have everybody on their mains. I think that's the thing that is really exciting about this particular matchup. It could be a 4-0. I think that there is a reality that it is a 4-0, but to see everybody on their mains, we know that the potential is there for ABC. Even in a bad matchup for them, they still try to create opportunities in that first game, and they were starting to make some out of thin air.
Absolutely, and I don't think we're going to see a 4-0. I mean, the small map, we've seen Cloud9 play this composition even on small maps and win, but ABC looked really, really good on hook point in their previous series, and we have to remember, this is a best of 7, and we don't have that many big maps. Nagron's already been played. Ashamain Spain is still in the pool. Ashamain's Fall, is still in the pool, as well as Tolvern Arena. But after that, you're going to have to win a game essentially on a small map if you are Cloud9, or bring it to Mugambala, which is also kind of a question mark because teams are very reluctant to picking some of those newer maps because they just don't have the practice on them yet.
Exactly. At least they don't have the practice at the level of a map that you've been playing for God knows how many years, right? And when you look at this one, we're not in a swing matchup yet. We like to talk about when we get into sometimes that third game, the potential for a swing, even in a best-of-5 series. In this game, too, that's not where we are, but it's just as important because of what Zico alluded to, map size. If we see Cloud9 steal a small map, well, then you look down the series and you say they got enough big maps to play around with. They stole one on a small map. If ABC is able to do it, though, then you see what their win condition possibly is. It's going small, getting into tight quarters, and finding ways to take down Cloud9.
Big damage early on from ABC, but only pulling Ironbark. Not that precious unending resolve of Chanimal, so not too big of a deal here for Cloud9 early on. And in terms of mana on Dalaran Sewers, it will be difficult for either side to drink, and drinking is going to be the name of the game. Smoke Bomb, this is the big power play. Cubsy knows that Smoke Bomb, he can't heal through the line of sight, so he uses Tranquility, which can. Asgrath, though, however, has jumped over and denied it with a Cyclone. But Chanimal is unfazed, and really that Spring Blossoms, that green circle below Chanimal, that talent in particular is the main reason that Chanimal can so easily survive when Cubsy is crowd controlled. Nixie now getting destroyed by Wealthy Man. Asgarath is interrupted. They cannot afford to go down 2-0 this early on in the best of 7.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely not a situation you want to find yourself in. On Dalaran Sewers, the smaller map, it should be good for ABC. They push in for crowd control on Cubsy. Nixie, though, in the meantime, getting really low. He has to trade out his Cloak of Shadows this early on. It could be a disaster, but there's a big attempt onto Asgarath as well. Big pressure coming in from Wealthy Man and Chanimal. Very nicely done. Sap on Cubsy. ABC trying to continue the crowd control chain, trying to continue the pressure on Chanimal. Cubsy trinkets out of the blind to keep Chanimal nice and healthy so they can continue this offensive push.
I think that Cloud9 are making a bit of an adaptation here, using a lot more interrupts on Asgarath, and that is putting him heavily behind. So Cloud9 mixing up their interrupt usage, focusing more on the healer rather than the mage Alec, and trying to build momentum and get kills earlier on here. Cubsy initiating crowd control. All 3 members of ABC are locked down, but they don't manage to get any more follow-up. Instead, switching targets. Big burst. I love Cubsy's Feral Affinity play, adding in just a bit of extra damage into the mix, almost taking out Asgarath here early on as he is struggling to recover.
Yeah, he's definitely struggling. We haven't seen a team really pressure down Asgarath this much so far in this type of matchup. Cloud9, Wealthy Man, Cubsy, they've been doing a really good job. Even though Chanimal is locked down, they're still keeping ABC guessing in this matchup, not allowing Asgarath to play nearly as aggressive as we saw in the Method Black game. Now Asgarath moving in, lands the bash, full Ring of Frost potential here for Alec. Does manage to find it. Chanimal positioned very far away. Finally, Alec landing some damage. There's the full kidney shot. Big burst potential here for ABC.
All right, let's see what they can get done. Chanimal is low, but Ironbark has connected from Cubsy. Mana, though, in favor of ABC. That is a bit different than we've seen between these compositions in the past, so if they can prevent Cubsy from regenerating, perhaps ABC can pull a victory off that way. Cubsy is sitting down, trying to drink in stealth, crossing the map as they do try to surround him and swarm. Cubsy is able to avoid that situation and reposition. How much mana can he get? Chanimal is being pressured amidst this drink opportunity.
Oh no.
He is near the demonic gateway, but they don't stop it. Alec was Frost Nova out of range. Cubsy's full mana. However, Chanimal is still low on health. No Ironbark for 26 seconds. Perhaps they can at least get an unending resolve for that exchange, but not finding it. That's a lead now for Cloud9.
Yep, Cubsy tried to sneak away for a drink, or he did manage to sneak away for a drink. Alec looked for a blizzard to deny it, but Wealthy Man had a beautiful interrupt on that Blizzard, put Alec in a Frost Nova, and completely kept Cubsy out of combat. That was really good backup from Wealthy Man to help Cubsy recover some of that mana. And now, because of that, Cloud9, they have a massive mana lead. Alec at the pillar with Asgrath, looking to get the pressure rolling onto Chanimal. Nixie moving towards Cubsy, but Cubsy just positioned so far away, it's really difficult for him to land the crowd control that he needs. And now ABC, they're falling a little bit behind. Asgrath trying to play catch up right now with that Innervate. It's a really well-timed Innervate, but make it so all of his heals are free of charge, and he can top off his team. Interrupt now coming in from Chanimal onto Asgrath. Like you said, it looks like Cloud9, they're trying to throw more interrupts onto Asgrath, putting him further behind in this matchup. That drink from Cubsy is carrying right now as we get closer to dampening. Nixie the main focus here for Cloud9 with that Gliders Maledict healing absorption activated, but no real cooldowns forced as a result of it, unfortunately. Now still the mana lead in favor of ABC. We're in the grand finals here, a best of 7 between the number 4 seed for Europe, that of ABC. Former 2017 BlizzCon champions Asgrath, Alec, Nixie reunited, and they've powered through this entire tournament to make it for a rematch against Cloud9, which every single team in this tournament has regarded as the best and most individually skilled team in the tournament, and you can see that here showcased with their Mage Warlock Restoration Druid composition. What can beat them? What can stop them from going all the way to BlizzCon? Well, it's only ABC, but what compositions? And it's looking like Rogue Mage is their only answer. Nixie is setting up huge damage here on Chanimal, out of line of sight of Cubsy. Cubsy repositions, catches a quick heal, but still pressure is mounting. Chanimal buys some breathing room with a Fear. Looking for a Chaos Bolt, fake casts the kick. Well done from Chanimal, he drops the Infernals. If he can get a Chaos Bolt off the back end of the stun, not able to find it, unfortunately, even with the support of the team. Instead now Chaos Bolting Nixie. Big hit there, about half his health. Asgrath's mana continues to fall, and dampening continues to rise here at 5%. Yep, 5%, gonna get higher and higher, and like you said, these Druids will struggle more and more as healing reduction goes up. Chanimal gets interrupted. There's still decent pressure here for ABC. Cubsy, actually Asgrath is the one that's trying to sneak away. The Fell Hunter does chase him down, but unfortunately not able to deny, and this could be a complete reset here for ABC. Alec is getting pressured down, but he's at the pillar right now, avoiding a lot of the incoming damage. Asgrath did drink. That was such a nice drink for ABC at the perfect moment in this game, covered their mana, and now they can continue that push, which we didn't get to see in game number 1. Asgrath stunned up, smoke bomb attempt here from Nixie. What can he get done? Fortunately, not too much. Only another ward for a smoke bomb. That is a big miss by ABC. That is their power play ability, and it doesn't really net them anything. Cubsy still sitting through crowd control. Alec looking to polymorph. Will he find it? He does. This could open up ABC an opportunity to get unending resolve, but you see Chanimal positioned in that efflorescence. That added extra healing from the Talent Spring Blossoms, paying its weight in gold here for Cloud9 as Chanimal soaks up all that damage basically for free here, and Cubsy is comfortable. Yeah, Wealthy Man looking for a Ray of Frost. He's really been pressuring Asgrath in this game quite a bit more than any of the mages we have seen. Makes him think twice. If he pushes in, he's 50% health, he gets caught into a bash. Cloud9 could really capitalize on that. If we look, Chanimal, he does have that Infernal coming up in around 1 minute and 20 seconds. Wealthy Man almost has that Icy Veins up as well, and that's when they can get really aggressive as a team, potentially do that one-shot combo we talked about with the Infernal Stun, with the Bash, with the Mortal Coil. In the meantime, ABC, they're starting to develop some pressure, a beautiful preemptive Iron Bark. Cubsy got caught into the Bash, but was able to get that Iron Bark on Chanimal, denying this go from ABC. Vendetta available, Icy Veins available. These are big hitting cooldowns for ABC. Curious to see if they pull the trigger on both at the same time, or if they're going to split them up. Right now would be a good opportunity. There's no Iron Bark available. Kidney shot, but Nixie gets bashed. He can't follow up with any damage. Great denial by Cubsy. Yeah, that was the Icy Vein from Alec. He throws out an Ebon Bolt. Chanimal could be in a little bit of trouble. Ray of Frost being channeled out as well. This is great damage from ABC, but the Spring Blossom has been doing work for Cubsy in this matchup. Chanimal has been sitting in that mushroom, that green effect on the ground for as long as possible. That empowered healing is just seems to be the extra little bit of edge that Cloud9 needs to allow Chanimal to survive these setups. Chanimal at half health, dampening at 20%. Scary moment for Cloud9 here in game number 2. Cubsy looks unfazed though, stunning up Nixie, looking for a kill there. Cloak of Shadows is available, but it's a gamble he's taking by not activating this early on. Kick interrupts Chaos Bolt. Pressure further forces Chanimal back. Cubsy's Iron Bark stabilizes him for now at about 40.
He is going to start to recover. Chanimal wants to swap to Asgarath and force him away from Cubsy. Hibernate gets dodged, but Ring of Frost cannot. Good coordination here from ABC. And hopefully this crowd control for them can bank an unending resolve, and it will with Vendetta committed. Chanimal is going to respect that cooldown's increased damage, but even still may not actually be enough. Cubsy is still cycloned. Can they get further? They get the second. Can they get the third? If they get the third, they may get the kill. Chanimal's Gladiator Safeguard hits off, but Gladiator's Maledict is incoming. Asgarath and Chanimal both in a lot of trouble here at this point in the match. Cubsy continues to get crowd controlled. Chanimal holds on, but barely.
Yeah, barely holds on. A nice cyclone by Asgarath. This is going to allow the diminishing returns to fade from Cubsy. If they can get crowd control on Cubsy, Chanimal could easily fall, but looks like he will be okay. Asgarath gets interrupted. There's a smoke bomb. Kleptomania. Chanimal, he has to trinket out. Cubsy needs to connect some heals. He has the Iron Bark. Now caught into a full cyclone. Won't be able to land it, but Chanimal and Wealthy Man have been doing a really good job controlling up ABC. You can see a Fear on Nixie. Polymorph on Alec. Mortal Coil on Asgarath. All three members caught in crowd control, but ABC, they want to throw out their own CC. There's a bash on Cubsy into a full Polymorph. Gets the Iron Bark on Chanimal. That should be enough to keep him alive, but both these teams firing on all cylinders.
There's no efflorescence down on Chanimal. I think that's actually more important than Iron Bark. So they don't have that Spring Blossom healing right now on Chanimal. Cubsy needs to get that down as soon as possible, but he's still crowd controlled. Can Chanimal hold on anymore? And they could close. Nether Ward holds Chanimal out, denying the Cyclone at low health. Great job by Chanimal. Once again, man, just MVP of the entire tournament in my mind, in my eyes, having watched this performance. Potentially going to be clean sweeping the finals if they can keep this up a bit longer. Mana is evening out, though, at least for ABC. Vendetta comes up in 17, Icy Veins in 14 for Alec and Nixie, and I think that those are going to be the final activations of the game. Will they just go all out, or are they going to hold on to them for a precise push? It all rides on those cooldowns.
Cubsy did sit down for a drink. He managed to gate away from Asgarath as he was pushing in for that bash. Good positioning by Cubsy, but a Polymorph gets snuck in. 3v1 situation. Wealthy Man forced to use his Ice Block to keep Chanimal alive. Lands a counterspell on Alec, denying the follow-up crowd control. Asgarath there to back him up with the bash on Cubsy. Chanimal now into a cheap shot. Iron Bark might be enough to keep him alive. But Cloud9, they need some counter pressure. Right now, ABC, things are just going their way.
Well, that's because it's the Icy Veins. It's the Vendetta. This is the big push. This is what ABC needed to win the game with, but they're not getting it. Chanimal gates to safety with Cubsy. Nixie's in hot pursuit, but Cubsy regenerated mana. He's got a significant lead. There's no ice blocks for Alec. Asgarath is almost tapped on mana. Dampeding's at 40%. It's looking good for Cloud9 on game number 2 here in the grand finals of the spring finals for the Arena World Championship Series.
I mean, it's not looking bad for Cloud9, but at 40% dampening, it is going to be very difficult for Cubsy to heal through the single target damage on Chanimal. Nixie just has to hold on. He still has the Cloak of Shadows. They need to make a push, but you can see Chanimal, he has the Infernal, he has the Dark Soul, he has all his offensive cooldowns ready to go. Asgarath forced to use his Bar Skin as he gets out of line of sight, finding a regrowth on himself, but at 42% dampening, it is just so difficult to top off your team. Here's a kidney shot on Chanimal. He's opting to just sit it. Cubsy not even throwing out an Iron Bark at this point in the game. And that attempt from ABC was basically completely nullified, and now it's Cloud9's time to get aggressive.
All three targets of ABC are getting softened up, and at any point, Wealthy Man's going to go pew, 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 and just knock one of them over with a big flurries if they dip too low. Asgarath ducks recover around the corner of the staircase. Alec is trying to follow him. Nixie's pushed forward, the only member of ABC in deep enemy territory, trying to complete Mission Impossible, which is kill Chanimal. Can they do it? They're totally tapped on mana, and slowly and surely going to be totally tapped on time. Chanimal is firing away at Nixie. He shadow steps in. He kicks Cubsy. He stuns Chanimal. Nixie, Secret Agent Nixie, is trying to pull off the miracle. Can he do it here? Pressure is finally mounting.
Yeah, Chanimal might have to drop off that Infernal. They need to find the counter pressure. There's a bash or a rake stun onto Asgarath. He trinkets out, gets the bash onto Cubsy. Chanimal in a lot of trouble. He cannot afford to hold on to that unending resolve for too long. There's the Cyclone into cheap shot onto Cubsy. Finally, Chanimal decides to use that unending resolve, looking for a Chaos Bolt, but he gets Ring of Frost. Nicely done by Alec, followed up by the kidney shot. Now Alec could be in some trouble. He's got no ice block. Cloud9 reverses the pressure onto Alec.
Wait.
Really closes out the game, but this could be a cross-kill situation. Gonna have to definitely wait and see, but beautiful game there by Cloud9 using the Infernals. getting the cross kill on Alec, and that was just very nicely done.
Had a moment there, just definitely staring at Snuts' eyes, making sure he didn't freak out, seeing like Chan go down or anything like that, because you could see there definitely was pressure still happening on both sides, but ultimately it is Chan who falls first, and it is one of those scenarios where Cloud9 is just getting further and further ahead. I went back and saw the replay. I was like, wait, what's happening? I thought we were jumping back into the game for a second, but Zico, why does the game end up panning out this way?
Well, it's just Cloud9 are experts at deflecting these attempts, you know. Cubsy, if he gets polymorphed to Ring of Frosted here, they could easily lose this match, but they keep shutting it down. Wealthy Man, you know, using both of his ice blocks, his icy veins, using everything to deflect that attack. And Chanimal, we've been hyping him up the entire tournament, and it's for good reason. This guy has been shutting down 3v1 situation after 3v1 situation. Even when the crowd control lands, he is always there, fearing up one target, double Mortal Coil on the others. The interrupts as well of Cloud9 has been on point. Wealthy Man and Chanimal are always in sync with who they should stop, and it's such minor things like we've been talking about the hibernate and the polymorph. When a druid is in form, you can hibernate him, force him to shift out, and then you can polymorph him. But even things like that are being shut down by Cloud9. They allow the hibernate to go off, and they allow the polymorph to go off, and they interrupt the hibernate, which also interrupts the cyclone. So I mean, these guys are really just playing out of their minds, and when it comes to stopping these setups from ABC.
Well, you talk about all of those little things that kind of contribute to the win, but the other big thing, the elephant in the room, is the fact that they just won on a small map as well. It was one of the first things that we touched on, and now Sid, that means they pretty much just need to get on the big maps and win, and they can actually lose some of the small maps now, and they would still be in fantastic place. Cloud9, of course, and you can see ABC still knowing that their win condition is trying to take it to small maps, at least for now, at least until they figure out another plan. They're going to be going to Hook Point. If they can't win here, obviously it's pretty dire. You get on match point.
If you can't win on Hook Point, the smallest map where you are the most favored, then where can you win? I mean, maybe they even go back to their Mage Elemental Shaman on the bigger maps and try and out-wizard them, but that has not worked. But I don't think we'll see ABC change composition for the entire series. I think it's just do or die, Rogue Mage Druid all the way. If they manage to do it, great, they're going to be happy, but if they don't, I don't know if they're actually going to be that disappointed, because no one has really been able to take Cloud9 out, and this is their most prepared composition. These are the three members who won BlizzCon back in 2017, so I don't think we're going to see them make any changes.
I think it's really important to note that that game was really close. I mean, that could have been a cross kill if Alex managed to survive a little bit longer. I don't know if Nixie had a smoke bomb up, but if he dropped that smoke bomb just a little bit earlier, he could have denied a Chaos Bolt on Alec and maybe kept him alive. So just little things like that in the last second at 45% dampening really add up. And if they had done that, it could have been a 1-1 series. So I don't think ABC's out of that yet.
But I think that's the reason that it is so important that they won on the small map, right? That Cloud9's able to win on the small map. You can give every small map now to ABC. They're going to run out of small maps, and it looks like they're going to run out of time in the series. It almost seems like they need to hope that they can win the small maps and then potentially figure out something completely different. Maybe it's not die by the sword. Maybe it's not just go for that composition, your main composition, the most practiced composition. Maybe it is pull something crazy out of the works and go for that Hail Mary pass.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's you bring up a very important point, but the most important thing is now they have won one of the small maps, so if it comes down to it, they're not going to be running out of large maps. So now all of a sudden the pressure is on ABC to beat Cloud9 on big maps. They're going to, if they win on the Hook Point, Cloud9 are going to be picking Asherman's Fall or Tolvern Arena, and then all of a sudden ABC have to figure something out on that map. And I really don't know what the answer is going to be. I mean, that's been the big question of this tournament. Cloud9 yet to drop a single series here in all of this tournament. So they really are holding all of the advantages. And I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if Cloud9 manages to win even now on Hook Point with how just incredible they've all been playing.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't even brought Snuts off the bench yet. Like, that's the thing. It's not only have they won all of these, it is just not breaking a sweat with this composition. Yes, some of the games have been played close. There's no denying that. The last game was played close, as Ben Ruki did mention. But Cloud9 has never been, they haven't even fully been tested yet.
I mean, I was actually chatting with Sidu a little bit yesterday, and he really couldn't believe it. I mean, he knew that Cloud9 had great success with Mage Lock Druid in North America, but he was almost certain that that composition would get tested by the Europeans, but Europeans so far haven't had a great answer for Cloud9 and what they are bringing. Seems like ABC on the Rogue Mage Druid is the best bet so far, but still down 0-2 in this series. This is the grand finals for a ticket to BlizzCon and $50,000. Cloud9 just 2 games away. ABC, they got a long road ahead of them if they want to win this series.
Good crowd control engaged on ABC's part onto Cubsy, but it's actually their own health bars that look a little bit soft here in game number 3. It's their best map on Hook Point. It's a small map, so Nixie can close the distance to his target more easily and more often. They couldn't find victory on Dalaran. If they can't find victory here, then I don't think anyone's going to be able to take down Cloud9. This team is titanic, more than deserving of a spot at BlizzCon, but of course they still need to win 2 more games to secure that spot. We have seen miracle crowd control attempts by ABC, perfectly and precisely placed to pull off victory against Method Black's Mage Lock Druid, so there's still potential, but it's such a long shot. Can they actually do it here? Pressure starting to develop in favor of Cloud9 as we see a mana lead. It's a small one, but it's still a lead in favor over ABC.
Yeah, and keep in mind, on this small map, it is going to be so difficult for either one of these Restoration Druids to really sit down for a drink. So as much mana as they have right now, that's all they're going to get for the game, unless one of the other teams really messes up and allows them to get a stealth, get a reset. Asgrath getting pressure down right now. Wealthy Man with a big flurry combo, as well as a frozen orb, gets him low. And I like when Wealthy Man does this. He starts taxing the mana of Asgrath, forcing him to heal himself, put heal over time effects on himself, and that really gets expensive. It also keeps him sort of guessing, because right now you can see Asgrath with no trinket. He's kind of susceptible to an all-in from Cloud9.
Let's see what they can do here. That was a smoke bomb attempt by Nixie. That is a big power play honor talent to try and kill a target, and Chanimal is totally A-okay, so that is unfortunate for ABC here on game 3 of this best of 7 grand finals. BlizzCon, $50,000 on the line if you are just tuning in, and of course, there are such a limited amount of spots at BlizzCon, and it's very important for your team's region that that region wins. So even if your favorite team is not in the grand finals, you want to cheer for their region. So if you're a North American fan, you're cheering for Cloud9 because that opens up more spots for other North American teams potentially in the future to qualify to BlizzCon. And if you're a European fan, even maybe not a fan of ABC, you still want them to win so that their region has a better opportunity and more slots potentially at the World Finals. So there's a lot on the line, not only for these teams, but these respective regions as well. Ice block overlapped, big exchange here for ABC early on, and you do not want to be falling behind on your best map this early on.
No, definitely not the best situation to be in, but ABC not too far behind at this point. If we look at mana, Asgrath actually has a massive lead. Polymorph on Cubsy, interrupt on Wealthy Man, kidney shot on Chanimal. Good cross crowd control here for ABC. This is a good attempt. Chanimal could be in some trouble. Nether Ward, unending resolve, forced to be traded out. ABC continuing the chain with a cheap shot onto Cubsy into a full cyclone. He has to trink it out. I don't think Nixie had to use his blind, and this is a great situation for ABC. If he still has blind available, get a full blind onto Cubsy into potentially a sap. Any follow-up from Alec, and they could easily take down Chanimal.
Oh, Alec needs to be careful. ABC have set themselves up with a win condition, but if they die right now, they're going to lose it. Cubsy, he's sapped. Kidney shot on Chanimal. Wealthy Man left open. He's polymorphing Alec, totally shutting down this attempt. Wealthy Man, good teamwork here defensively, denying a lot of damage on Chanimal. Cubsy sits through the crowd control comfortably, but look at his mana, and this is the advantage on Hook Point. ABC can get right on top of Cubsy and stop him from drinking. If they can somehow keep that mana advantage, I do see ABC pulling it off on Hook Point.
Yeah, I mean, definitely ABC, this is their best map. They just need to continue this lead. They're in a good situation right now. They have a full blind available. Kidney shot on Chanimal. No unending resolve. There's the bash. What are they going to be able to do? Do they have the damage? Alec needs to try to get something rolling, but Chanimal denies it with the Infernal Stun. This is Icy Veins. ABC, they want to close the game out right here, right now, but there's just no damage. Chanimal just sitting at full HP.
Yep, Chanimal is A-okay. Asgrath, on the other hand, gets switched to, and Ursa down, managing to escape out of line of sight, but Infernals have landed. Chanimal is ramping up for big Chaos Bolts. Who is he going to cast a Chaos Bolt is now the question. It looks like he wants Nixie out of the fear, but no, Alec. Huge Chaos Bolt connects. No Iron Bark for Alec. Again, making that mistake with the Cold Snap, not resetting the cooldown of his Ice Block. That could potentially cost him the match later on if Cloud9 can force more damage through, but it doesn't look like they can. Dampening has now entered the match. Cubsy gets caught. maybe a bit of a mistake here on the part of Cloud9. It's been a long day. It's been a long tournament, and now maybe you're going to start to see more mistakes. And if you make a mistake in the grand finals, the other team is going to immediately punish that. There's potential for ABC, maybe just off the fact that Cloud9 could be fatigued.
Yeah, I mean, as easily as Cloud9 could be fatigued, ABC
Yes.
could be fatigued as well. I mean, it's been a long day for them. Alex still hasn't used this cold snap. If Cloud9 can force out that cold snap, it will be a little bit of a disaster for Alec, as that third ice block will be such a far away ability for him to actually have available. Chanimal gets interrupted. Thorns gets used by Cubsy, trying to get some counter pressure over on a Nixie. Alex getting low as well. He's caught in midfield. Chanimal lands one Chaos Bolt. Alec getting low. There's the Iron Bark. Like I said, if he's forced into that cold snap ice block, it will be a bit of a blunder here for ABC. Ashcraft gets interrupted. Alec getting low. Wealthy Man in hot pursuit, looking for a big Frostbolt, but unfortunately not able to find the damage.
Cubsy actually sits through a blind there for free. Not even having to trade that Gliders Medallion. Has a significant mana lead now in his team's favor, and it's looking like Cloud9 are going to advance to match point unless ABC can pull something off here. What do they have in terms of options? Really only the Vendetta of Nixie, but Cubsy has Iron Bark, and that's an easy trade if they decide to go for that. Wealthy Man is polymorphing Nixie, so Cubsy can sneak away and drink during ABC's push. Nobody is able to stop Cubsy. They're not able to utilize the small map whatsoever. Asgrath instead is trying to find an opportunity to
full mana.
How much mana can Asgrath get off the back end of this is now the question, because if he doesn't get any mana, he got a significant amount at least, but Cubsy is still ahead.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake for both of these teams, allowing the enemy Druids to recover mana. Cubsy with a complete reset. Things are looking good for Cloud9. They still have an edge, 11% dampening. Let's see what happens. Asgrath now into a bash. Big all-in attempt here for Cloud9, but there's no Infernal Stun. If they could get the Bark Skin, which they did, now there's a huge opportunity once that Infernal is up. Icy Veins available as well. Asgrath, he's going to have to be very careful. If he gets caught into a bash Infernal Stun Mortal Coil, I could easily see Cloud9 taking him down. So he's going to have to be very careful soon when they decide to pull the trigger on that Infernal.
Cubsy cycloned. ABC need to capitalize, but they can't. Nixie's feared. Alex is polymorphed. Asgrath is counterspelled. And every single time ABC try to make a push, Cloud9 shut them down. And nobody has been able to take out Cloud9. They are on a whole nother tier in this tournament. They're looking strong. This is their last roadblock on the road to the BlizzCon Finals and $50,000. Only one ice block for Alec remains. Dampening continues to rise. Asgrath's mana continues to fall. Still even further burst coming through. Chanimal looking for a Chaos Bolt. Casts that onto Alec. One connects and he Shadow Melted, I believe. Immuning its damage, but now not available for Gladiator's Maledict. Asgrath dispels one of them. Wealthy Man's trying to push forward for a kill. Tossing Ray of Frost on Asgrath, but then getting cycloned on it. Denying some hits. Alec repositioning towards Cubsy, but he's now in center field. Potentially an opening. Ring of Frost, Hibernate combo. Good teamwork there from ABC, taking Cubsy out of the fight, but they're still just so low on health that I'm not sure they can get anything going.
There's the ice block from Alec, and because he waited so long on that cold snap, there's not going to be a third ice block for some time, I believe. Yeah, and he won't have that, and that's a big blunder for ABC. Asgrath rotting low as well as Alec, but there's still an attempt here on the Chanimal. They can get the crowd control. You can see Alec still has the Icy Veins. Nixie still has all his offensive arsenal. They could try to pull off the miracle here in game number 3, but things aren't looking that great for ABC.
They are not looking, I mean, not that great is taking it lightly. It's looking terrible. It's looking abysmal. It's looking awful. And it's looking like they may just be defeated outright by Cloud9 in a clean sweep in the finals. They don't have much time left to make something happen. Can they pull it off? This is their best map, and they've already burned Dalaran. I mean, there's only so many small maps in the pool in a grand final best of 7. They have to take this if they want even a chance. But, I mean, even a chance is not looking too great here. Cloud9 just, they look unbeatable.
Yeah, they really do. They're looking bulletproof at this point in the tournament. But Chanimal getting low. Cubsy's mana is looking good. Asgrath has a little bit of mana left in the tank. I think it's unlikely any of these Druids really go for a drink. One last attempt here on Chanimal. There's a big kidney shot. Nether Ward does get used. Trinket by Chanimal. Still has that unending resolve if he needs it, but now without a trinket, he's going to be vulnerable to the next kidney shot. There is no smoke bomb, but Nixie does have the Vendetta, and at 30% dampening, really anything can happen. All he needs is a kidney shot with Kleptomania. Cubsy's going to have to do a good job responding. Coca Shadows gets traded out by Nixie, but there's the bash. Nixie's still really vulnerable to crowd control and Asgroth. They're going to be able to punish. Fear on Nixie into a chaos. Nixie getting low, and they punish the over-aggression from ABC. How is Nixie still alive? Unbelievable.
I think that's the lowest a player has ever gotten and not died in a tournament setting. I mean, that was a mere. Asgroth got mana while Nixie almost died, but I mean, he got mana.
Calculated.
That was calculated, of course. Of course it was calculated by ABC here. Game 3 on hook points. It's a best of 7, though. Can they swing it back 3 more in a row after this? It's so narrowly going to be Cloud9's match. Cubsy may need to try and find a drink now, though, as Asgarath played a gamble there and managed to have it pay off. Cold Snap available shortly for Alec. That's at least some breathing room for ABC. Mana is tied here at 35% dampening, and dampening makes things chaotic. It makes things unpredictable. However, Nixie is stunned and the entire team is locked out in crowd control. Nice push here from Cloud9. Ironbark may not be enough at 36% dampening. Nixie, he's on the run, but will he be able to stay alive? Line of sight, Welty-Man flurries. Cubsy's biting him. All 3 members of Cloud9 going for the kill. There's not really much defense left for Nixie. Asgarath jumps over, trying to save him. Cubsy stuns Asgarath. Welty-Man blinks in. Blizzard onto 2 members of the team. Chanimal with Cataclysm on the other side. They've got them cornered. They've got them floundering. ABC are struggling to find air to breathe.
Yep, they definitely are. This is a difficult situation for Asgarath to really be in. He's behind the pillar. He's low. Nixie, no Cloak of Shadows, another 10 seconds, but they're going for it. Kidney shot on Chanimal with the Kleptomania. Alec in a good position to get out damage at this point in the game. Asgarath getting interrupted. Nixie still low. 5 seconds left on that Cloak of Shadows. I think he has the time, but there's a bash on Asgarath, and he has no trinket. Cloud9, they're going for it. The all-in. They take down Asgarath, and they are on match point.
They are indeed. They are just 1 game away from going all the way to BlizzCon, which it looks like they are going to win. It just looks like they're going to win BlizzCon. I think we start there. Before we get carried away, let's start with Nixie living. That was pretty absurd, Zico. How does that even happen? And after Nixie manages to survive, do they have a shred of hope?
I mean, yes, because Asgarath did get away to get his mana bar completely reset there, but this entire game, I mean, even right here, you see Cubsy, how he keeps ducking and weaving between bear form and cat form. That's because he doesn't have his trinket. He knows he is the only exposed target on Cloud9. He plays it completely safe, forces the kidney shot to be used on Chanimal, goes for the restuff, and as soon as he knows that the threat of him dying is gone, he's gonna go look for the restuff and then go over onto Asgarath and start setting up his team for that offensive push. And this entire, I want to say, maybe last 30 or so % dampening of this game, it was just Cubsy balancing his offense and Nixie trying to punish it. And every single time, Cubsy just comes out ahead. Every single time. He never made that mistake. Even when Cubsy pushes behind the pillar, he's completely alone with Nixie. He applies his dots, and then he knows, okay, Alec is coming back. Now it's time to go to bear form. Then he goes to bear form. And then Wealthy Man comes in, starts slowing up the rogue. Immediately, Cubsy retreats away. Then Kidney Shot gets used on somebody else. He knows, okay, I cannot die anymore. Then he goes in, starts adding that damage. Honestly, Cubsy, MVP that game.
I think that Cloud9 is winning BlizzCon. I'm relatively confident right now.
That's what you said about Method Black last year.
I think Method Black's going to break up.
What?
I think
Where did that come from?
Prediction.
I think the boys are going to break up. I think we're going to have crazy WrestleMania in EU. Not the boys. Not actually the boys. The boys in EU. I think EU falls apart after this tournament. I think the entire region just is decimated.
Well, I disagree.
But I except for Minpoike and for ABC. Those are the 2 teams, and they'll both be at BlizzCon. They'll both qualify. I just feel it. I'm 100% sure, and I never make predictions. I think that everything in EU is just going to be shattered after this. And the Chalky Milkmen are also going to qualify.
I think we need a mustache bet, since you're 100% confident.
For BlizzCon. At the end of BlizzCon.
That's a long time.
I promise.
We might forget. We need to write it down.
I'll have a beard by then, honestly. but yeah, no, I am completely confident in Cloud9. I am completely confident in Cloud9. And looking here right now, we're going to see ABC's state of their composition. Let's say that they do win here. Let's say that they win on Ashmane's Fall. Already, they're not on a small map, so it's looking pretty grim. Cloud9, there's no reality, I think, where they switch compositions inside of this series. Even if we start getting into reverse sweep area, I don't think that they ever get into the area that they're not confident enough playing their MLD.
Well, think about the maps that have been played so far. first game to Grand Arena. ABC loses. It's the bigger map. Then they think smaller map could be better. They go to Dalaran Sewers. They lose that. Then they go to Hook Point. Small map. They lose that. And now I guess they're just trying anything out. They're going to be going back to Ashamane's Fall, which is similar to the Grand Arena in size, potentially a little bit bigger. But I feel like in terms of map, this is even better for Cloud9.
Look at everything that ABC has accomplished in this tournament to get here. Cloud9 is tearing them apart like soft bread, but this was the first team that they went up against. Cloud9 knocked them down to the lower bracket then, and ABC went on a rampage, not dropping a series in the lower, sending so many different teams packing, including both of the Method squads. They get all the way to the losers final to play for their spot in the grand final, and they take down this composition of the Mage, of the Lock, and the Druid. But when they go up against Cloud9, so far it just appears to be in a league of its own. Is Cloud9 going to assert absolute dominance on this tournament and prove that they are hands down the best team in the world?
We haven't even seen Snuts. Snuts is on Cloud9's roster. We haven't even seen him in one game.
Is he good?
In the spring finals. Is he good? You played with him. You tell me.
Yeah, he's pretty good. What's funny is we actually played this composition way back in 2010, the Mage Lock Druid, and Snuts, he's not really playing. He's on the bench right now, but I mean, he's got to be feeling good watching Cubsy, Chanimal, and Wealthy Man rip it up. And if they need him, they can tag Snuts in, which gives them a plethora of compositions. But they've only needed one composition in this tournament so far. They are up 3-0 in a best of 7 against ABC. If they win this game, they will be advancing to BlizzCon, as well as winning $50,000. $50,000, the king's share of the prize here in this weekend's tournament, the spring finals. And moving forward, if Cloud9 qualify, could potentially open up an extra slot for North America to qualify to the finals later on at the end of the summer season. So a lot on the line, not only for these two teams, but the regions as well. We do see a mana lead already established for Cloud9. We do see a peculiar choice on ABC's part to select a big map. Perhaps they're saying, well, if we can't beat them on the small maps, then let's just lock it in on the big maps, because we can't beat them there if we can't win on the small maps anyway. Let's just get it out of the way. But, I mean, that's more of a loser's mentality, I think, at that point. You're not even going to try and get a point on the board. Nixie's getting bursted down. He can't afford to make a mistake here. It's match point. Askerath saves him. Close call for ABC. Yeah, definitely a very close call. Feint and Iron Bark are enough damage reduction on the side of ABC to keep Nixie alive. He still has the Vanish and Cloak of Shadows. Good job by ABC not overreacting to the situation. And he did manage to survive that attempt. Interrupt on Askerath, interrupt on Alec. Good crowd control by Cloud9 with the spell lock with the counter spell. Nixie in midfield, kind of left all alone, and that's one of the problems with this big map is Nixie in midfield, he is a vulnerable target. We know Cloud9, they like to go after the rogues. If Cubsy can move in, get the restells, could potentially set up his team. Askerath moving forward, gets the bash on Cubsy into a full Cyclone. Very nicely done, but Chanimal, he's just positioned so far away. Nixie cannot connect to his target.
He's desperately trying to. ABC clinging for life here against Cloud9 in the grand finals. They swap to Wealthy Man. They maybe catch him off guard. They at least bank an ice block. Nice play by ABC.
Yeah, really nice play by ABC, switching it up. I mean, they did not find success on Chanimal, let's be honest. They're down 0-3 in the series. If they didn't change it up, that would literally be the definition of insanity. So I think going after Wealthy Man, testing him a little bit in this matchup. There's a smoke bomb, there's a kidney shot. ABC looking to put a point on the board. Safeguard procs. Chanimal trying to help him out with the Infernal Stun. Wealthy Man gets a huge heal, and as fast as he goes down to 5% HP, he goes to 100%.
Nixie.
Now Nixie's in trouble. Chaos Bolt gets shrugged off with Cloak of Shadows from Nixie. He does manage to survive. What a close call for both teams.
Close call on both sides here. It's match point here in the best of 7 grand finals. $50,000 on the line. BlizzCon on the line, and Cloud9 are sitting pretty. They're looking unbeatable in the tournament. They're looking unbeatable in World of Warcraft Arena. Period. With this Mage Warlock Restoration Druid composition. Can they nail it out here? They just need one more win. Can they close it out? They've already got a mana lead. The cooldowns are looking at least even. Cubsy's regenerated back to full mana, and his team is in a solid position.
Yeah, I mean, a very solid position, I would say. They've got to be feeling very confident in this point in the series. Wealthy Man, all 4 DPS members caught in midfield right now. The Druid's trying to find crowd control. There's a Mortal Coil on a Nixie, onto Askerath, but there's no follow-up crowd control. There's a bash on Alec. Can they force the ice block? He's getting lower. This is danger time. Wealthy Man looking for some damage, managing to find a few Frost Bolts, but Alec shuts it down with the Polymorph, looking for a Ring of Frost, gets denied by Wealthy Man. both teams do manage to stabilize. Chanimal now looking for some fears on Nixie to set himself up for a Chaos Bolt, but unfortunately unable to find it.
All right, unfortunately able to find it here. Askerath, and will he be able to escape and find mana? He needs to. He was able to on hook point, but Nixie literally survived at 1% health in exchange for it, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do that again. I don't know if that's repeatable even 4 more times in a row. I mean, this is just so devastating for ABC, but you can never count Rogue Mage out. It is the one composition that can pull off absolute miracles, and ABC have made it to the grand finals off the back of their Rogue Mage play. They've set up stellar crowd control attempts, see if they can coordinate together here against Cloud9 and at least put even just a point on the board against them. Otherwise, they will have gone down, I believe, 7-0 for the tournament against them, losing in the first round and now potentially losing in the grand finals as well. They're trying to battle it out. Askerath is far away, but with that Fell Hunter on him, he is unable to sit down for a drink. Cubsy lines up Innervate. His healing is now all free, so he will continue to build a mana advantage over that of Askerath. Nixie and Alec both being softened up at this point in what could be the final match of this tournament.
Yeah, it definitely could be. Look at mana. Cubsy almost 100% mana. Cloud9 setting themselves up for success if we have just got in, or as we have just got into dampening. Nixie, of course, does have the Vendetta. There is an opportunity here, but they just have not found pressure in this match. Outside of the first Ice Block on Wealthy Man, there's just been no damage for ABC. Mortal Coil on Nixie. Does have the Cloak of Shadows, might have to trade it out. One Maledict does land from Chanimal, looking for a Chaos Bolt. Nixie does manage to survive. Askerath finding some heals. There's the bash. Cubsy pushes in, helping out his team, assisting with that Feral Affinity. Nicely done now behind the pillar. Just trying to play it a little bit safe, but like I said, ABC, where is their opening, Sid?
Well, they got Vendetta, they got Smoke Bomb, and Chanimal actually has no Gladiator's Medallion. That's the opening. Blow every single cooldown you've got, go all in and kill Chanimal. I don't see any other option. But they're going after Wealthy Man. Maybe if they can somehow get an Ice Block and then do that to Wealthy Man, I mean, that's another option, but they're going to run out of time to be able to create that opportunity. Cubsy's just chilling. I mean, he's literally sitting down for his drink while his team wins the game. That's a comfortable position to be in. Nixie below half, still trying to push forward. Askerath, where is he? He's in center field. Smoke Bomb gets dropped. This has to be it. Vendetta gets popped. Chanimal exchanges on ending resolve. Fair exchange there on his part. Blind now gets Gladiator's Medallion from Cubsy. Chanimal deflects it with the double Mortal Coil and stays alive. Good reaction from Chanimal. That win opportunity has now been lost, and Cloud9 will have the advantage, and they are beginning to overwhelm ABC here. It's match point.
Yeah, Askerath forced to use the Bar Skin, forced to use the Iron Bar. Cubsy just in cat form right now. Damage on Nixie, damage on Askerath. What is he going to do? Nixie, of course, has the Cloak of Shadows, has the advantage to keep himself alive at 14% dampening. Things are looking scary for ABC. Cubsy still full on mana. Everything going in favor of Cloud9 in this matchup. Fear on Alec. Nixie getting low. Cloak of Shadows gets traded out, and that could potentially be one of the last lines of defense that they have. You look at Askerath, he has no cooldowns. Keep his team alive. He does manage to top off Nixie, but as fast as he tops himself off, Nixie still dipping low. Interrupt on Askerath. Good pressure here from Wealthy Man. This is the Icy Veins. This is looking so good for Cloud9.
This is looking so good for Cloud9 right here in the grand finals. They're looking good to take it. They're up 3-0. They need one more win. $50,000 in BlizzCon. One more win. Can they do it? Can they pull it off? They've got every single advantage, and that's off the back of building it throughout such a long grand final, such a long tournament. They don't even look phased at this point. Nixie gets stunned up, but he pre-fainted. That faint's damage reduction with Iron Bark needs to be enough because Askerath has no mana. He has absolutely no mana left. Nixie shadow steps out around the corner, ducking for cover, but Askerath can't even heal him. He's waiting, hoping that he gets an Omen of Clarity proc for a regrow, but then gets spell locked instantly on it. He can't connect the heals. Wealthy Man ice lance him. He can't escape to drop combat and get a drink either. Chanimal pushes forward. Wealthy Man looking for crowd control. Askerath jumping in for what could be the final push of the match here for ABC. Can they net a kill on Chanimal? The damage just isn't there. Wealthy Man shuts them down. Nixie is still in trouble. Askerath needs 7 more seconds, 6 more seconds. Can he make it to that point? Wealthy Man's in a Cyclone. At least he can't get damage out. Nixie is stabilized. He's got Vendetta. There's no one any resolve, and there's no Iron Bark. ABC have to kill Chanimal in the next minute or they're going home.
Yep, definitely. Chanimal, how is he going to hold on? Cubsy needs to keep him alive, but there's no Iron Bark. Is he going to use the Vendetta? Here's the kidney shot. Nixie, what are you waiting for? Still holding on to that Vendetta. No Cloak of Shadows, no Banish. Cloud9 with a huge offensive push. They might be able to take him down right now. Chanimal with the fear, look for a Chaos Bolt. Good counterspell by Alec to keep him alive. Cubsy gets the re-stealth, moves in, gets the bash, gateways away. Nixie is still holding on to that Vendetta.
And Iron Bark is 20 seconds away. Unending Resolve is 17 seconds away. And that opportunity to get a kill is slowly but surely being lost. Spelllock and Asgrath. He can't heal. Nixie is so low on health. He cloaks. Will he be able to hold out? Will they be able to pull off the miracle here? There's nothing left. They're clinging. They're grasping at straws against Cloud9 to kill Chanimal, but they're getting overwhelmed. And Wealthy Man is looking like he's going to close it out. Cloud9 blow out the finals 4-0.
They are going to be your AWC Spring Finals champions, the first team to go to BlizzCon representing North America. Now we know at least 2 teams from the North American region are going to be competing at the finals for the year. And you look at Cloud9, it just looks like they broke the game. One of the first things you hear from Snuts when you get here to this land is they have complete confidence in their individual skill. They look at the roster and they say, yeah, we have some of the most individually skilled players, but they question compositions. Then every single pro player just says, well, they're hands down the best MLD. Then take it a step further, and it looks like MLD is actually strong in the meta. You see teams like Method Black start to try playing it more and more, and then you come to the realization that even if for some reason Chanimal got food poisoning and couldn't compete, and they took Snuts off the bench and played MLD, they're still the best MLD in the entire world. This team looks like an unbeatable force in the current meta. Will they be able to hold on all the way through BlizzCon? Will they be able to pull down another NA BlizzCon win? Zico, this team looks out of control.
I mean, what a team. They don't lose a single series to anybody, beating out, the best teams that Europe has to offer. They beat Wildcard Gaming, they beat ABC, they beat everybody, and what a dominant way to do it as well. Even in the finals, going 4-0 against arguably one of the best RMDs we've seen. These guys, they came here to play, and this was just incredible performance from these guys. The NA region as a whole must be very, very excited as well, because all of a sudden, now teams like the boys can start to breathe a little bit because their points are going to move up, in the standings. This just affects everything. What a great performance from Cloud9.
Huge second win for both the boys and for Method Orange to potentially qualify, but who has already qualified? It's going to be Cloud9, and right now on the main stage, you can see in their hands, that is going to be their scroll, their invite to BlizzCon. That is the next tournament that they really need to be getting ready for, the finals of the year. No matter what happens, they know that they are going. Let's hear what they have to say.
Hey guys, I am here with Cloud9. Congratulations on that win. You just secured your spot to BlizzCon. How are you feeling right now?
Pretty happy with ourselves, knowing that we don't have to do well in the next season to make it to BlizzCon. So feeling very secure and good.
Now you have 2 former BlizzCon champions on your roster, including yourself. Is this the type of team that can make it all the way at BlizzCon and win it all?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this team is by far the best team I think that NA has this year for winning BlizzCon. Stats has so much experience in the past, same with me, and I really want to win it for Wealthy Man and Cubsy. Those guys don't get enough credit for how good they are.
Now I'm seeing a lot of Cloud9 emotes in chat supporting you guys. Is there anything you want to say to everybody supporting you guys at home?
Yep. Thank you to all our fans for supporting us. Thank you so much to all our sponsors and Cloud9.
All right, congratulations once again. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Incredible stuff. And you hear from Chad. He says the best team that NA has to offer. I think it's pretty clear. As of right now, how everything stands, Zico, they're the best team that World of Warcraft has to offer. They look absurdly good.
Yeah, I mean, again, Cloud9, they just picked up this team as well, and what a way to do it. Immediately winning their first tournament as Cloud9, essentially. And top point earner of the region, top point earner actually across all regions. And they come here, they play their one composition, and they beat everybody.
Yeah, and you start to predict things for the rest of the year, because like you heard from Chad, yeah, it doesn't really matter how we do. We know that we're going, and that means that the team that is behind them in points, even when you don't take the second land into account, that is going to be the team that goes. You assume that they're still going to soak up majority of the points, be getting in a lot of experience, but in their hands right now, they hold their ticket to BlizzCon. And, you know, I joked around saying, like, is there going to be a giant roster mania inside of EU? Swapsy tweeted at me, he said, why are you trolling on broadcast? Like what are you even talking about? But I think that there is potential to see another roster mania in EU. Maybe not on the side of Method Black. I mean, even headed into this season, it was the one team that did stay together. But you look over at North America, and some real powerhouses, Sid, have been formed. One of them is Cloud9.
Yeah, Cloud9 definitely deserving of that BlizzCon spot. They completed the Spring Finals quest, and now they've got a new one, and that's the BlizzCon quest. Can they pull that off? They are looking like a force to be reckoned with. One of the best teams we've ever seen in World of Warcraft. Bringing in the new blood, well, would have been new blood a couple years ago, but I still consider them new blood, that combo of Cubsy and Wealthy Man, their Mage Druid synergy. Then bringing in the previous BlizzCon champions, Chanimal and Snuts on Warlocks, and then multi-classing Snuts. I mean, this team is really just a match made in heaven with all 4 players, and I see them going all the way as well.
Yeah, and the thing is even when the meta changes, you look at these guys and you expect them to be relatively durable. They have Snuts, who's a phenomenal multi-classer. Even we've seen Chan on land be able to multi-class mainly with his Moonkin, which opens up a lot of opportunities, especially with Snuts also playing the caster. So they have those cleaves. It opens them up to a lot of different options, and with time to experiment in these cups, they can potentially multi-class even more. Let's take a look at how they managed to guarantee the first spot at BlizzCon. And also, I do want to give a big shout out to the runners-up in AWC, because look, upper quarters, Cloud9, the first team they play against is AWC. They tear them to pieces, knock them down to the lower bracket, and then AWC goes on a rampage.
Yeah, I mean, ABC, they did. They were in the lower bracket. They beat Method Orange 3-0, ended up beating the boys, marched through Changed My Mind, and then beat Method Black in an unbelievable series, earning their way to the grand final. So you can really never count this team out. I think in their last 3 LAN tournament performances, they won BlizzCon, got second at the European Regionals, and got second at this tournament. And I think a lot of the players have said that are in this tournament, this could potentially be one of the most difficult tournaments of all time.
And now they're also going to be $50,000 richer. The team going to be getting $50,000 in prizing as well as that quest to BlizzCon, as Supertees has mentioned. You can actually see it on the screen. I love actually getting to look at that scroll so much. They all are going to be walking away with that and the $50,000. ABC going to grab $20,000 for second place as well. And then behind them, Method Black and Change My Mind going to be into solid prizing also. But, you know, even with the $50,000, you obviously want to grab that. But the real goal of this one is getting to BlizzCon. It's harder this year than before. Even if you don't say that the competition is harder, it is so hard to qualify. Less teams are going from NA and EU.
Yeah, there, I believe, are only 5 spots total for North America and Europe moving forward to BlizzCon, which is the least amount we've ever seen. The top point-earning team from North America, the top 1 point-earning team from Europe, as well as 3 qualifiers based off these LAN tournaments. Cloud9 was the top point earner and also won this tournament, so that frees up a spot in North America. But these LAN tournaments are very important, and I think anytime you see a team like Cloud9 win for North America, obviously the Europeans are going to want to see in the summer final some European teams win to start earning some more spots for their region.
I mean, as stuff stands, the boys would also be going, right? You look at the boys and say that they are also going, and then I believe Method Black, right? But guys, that's going to be it for this season, and it ends with an NA victory. Cloud9 going to be your champions, and if you feel like, man, I can't wait for the summer season, it's coming. It's going to be a little while, but something really exciting is just around the corner, and that is going to be, for the first time ever, a GCD TV 66 tournament. I cannot be more excited for this. It's going to be rated Battlegrounds. It's something that we've all wanted to see for a very long time. I know one of the casters is an absolute GOAT as well. Sign-ups are still going on GCD TV, and you can head over right now, but do it quickly because the registration closes at 9 9 a.m. PST on Tuesday. The tournament itself is going to be taking place on May 25th. And oh my goodness, I think we got the best conclusion that we could have had here. Seeing Cloud9 create a composition in MLD that fit the meta so well, but they piloted it better than anybody else did. We will see them at BlizzCon, and then we're going to get to summer and see who else will join them.